And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just wrapped up with our first elimination match with Mystery Gaming versus Little Fairy. And now we have returned with our next matchup, with our final matchup of the night. It is going to be Team Rotti versus Invictus Gaming. Oh boy, to find out who is the second team to be eliminated in Code A. And up first, we have another TVT between CuKu and XY. Here we go. CuKu, of course, from Romania. XY from the land of China. And XY, as always, is going to be coming in with a strong mind, with a strong mental. And I do love the idea of bringing XY out first. I think it's important for him to really lead the way for his team, for him to really, shine a light on how they can progress, how they can take it all. XY was the only player on IG to take a series previously in the upper round. He 2-0'd Dimalga last night. Very impressive performance from XY to 2-0 Dimalga of all players. But the rest of his team struggled a little bit more, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned because last night we didn't see Maxed. We did not see Maxed, the strong, the right-hand man of XY on Invictus Gaming. And likewise, tonight, there is no Maxed either. So I'm not too sure what that means. I don't know if Maxed has or is inactive, or maybe he's just not available. Maybe it's just unfortunate that these qualifiers or Code A is happening in the middle of the week, and Maxed just maybe is only available on the weekends. But without Maxed, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for Invictus Gaming. It can't all rest on the shoulders of one man. But here we go. We're getting into our first game, into our best of two in the top left-hand corner from Romania, representing Team Rotti. It is CuKu. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner for Invictus Gaming, the Chinese Terran player, it is the King of the Mind. It is XY. Go again, looking to start off strong here. XY, I would say, is the ace player for his team. I'm pretty sure he's the team captain, and he's pretty damn good at what he does. Is definitely a strong start for IG. Now, CuKu is an up-and-comer from the land of Romania, from the European region, and I would say that he has a chance definitely against XY, but he's coming in as the underdog. He's coming in looking to make a name for himself. Thankfully for CuKu, he can rely on some of his other teammates. There's some big names on Team Rotti, like Special as well as Euthermal. I do think that they're probably the two best players on Team Rotti at the moment. But CuKu, he's definitely comparable and definitely able to go toe to toe with the big dogs from time to time. But we'll see if he can bring that out against XY. We shall find out. For the time being, some pretty mirrored builds. Both players are going for double gas openers. So both players are just opening up very safe and very standard on Dragon Scales, which does make plenty of sense. Dragon Scales is a very, very popular map for proxies. Proxy 2-Raxes, we see them very often on this map. The rush distance is short by ground. We have the Reaper Cliff into the main base. And 2-Raxes can be very powerful on Dragon Scales, so makes sense for our players here to be a little bit anxious about that. Until then, we do see just pretty standard setup overall. We have our Reapers on the way, Factory as well. Behind this, CuKu is actually going for a Reactor after his initial Reaper, so he's not going into multiple Reapers. We'll be setting up his add-ons instead. Ooh, as he does face check up the ramp, and he is going to be forced away. XY trading a little bit better, as both players are looking to expand and get their natural bases up and running. So again, nothing too fancy so far. CuKu just going to be making 2 Reapers at a time. We see XY, even though he will be down when it comes to overall army units, he is making a defensive Widowmine. Widowmine is on the way, and it should be placed on top of that ramp to defend and overwhelm any kind of army rushing up the ramp. Likewise, we see CuKu doing the same, going for his own mine as well. So yeah, pretty similar outlooks on this game so far, outside of the fact that CuKu does have far more Reapers, as XY should be working on Cyclones momentarily. Now things will be calming down. There we go. There's that Cyclone on the way for XY. So again, even though his army is going to be a little bit smaller, it's of higher quality. We're getting into our TBT. Both players just going to be chilling out here. Back at home, CuKu taking his own defensive position, waiting for the opposing player to go up the ramp, but that's never going to happen. We're like, both players are just chilling. They're just chilling here at home. And interesting, XY, he's already getting into his tank production as well. First tank is on the way, Ravens as well. The bread and butter of TBT is Tank Raven, at least in the early game. Now, whether or not any one of our players is going to go into mech, that's another question. We have seen XY play mech against Zerg. That is something that he has brought to the table. Against Terran, I'm not too familiar. I'm not too familiar with XY's mech proclivities in TBT. I want to believe that he's not one to do so, but it's XY, mate. He can do anything. He wrote the book. Wrote the book on TBT. He can do it all. But now he's just going to be setting up defensively back at home. CuKu going straight for his third CC. So it's been a very passive start to the game, and he's looking to take advantage of that passivity by rushing into his third base. So very greedy, very economic out of CuKu. We'll see what XY goes for, and if he's able to get a read on what's going on. Right now, he's splitting up his army. He's getting ready for a drop play or just to defend his main and his natural. Makes plenty of sense. And there we go. There's that third CC from XY. I was waiting to see if he was going to throw down like an additional starport, additional gases, but no. It's just going to be a third CC from our red Terran as well. It is far later than that of CuKu's, so I imagine XY is soon going to be active on the map. And the goal here is not just to be active, of course, but to also delay the third base of CuKu, contain him to 2 bases as best he can. As he moves out, the Reapers and Hellions are going to move in. Uh-oh. And they can delay the third. They can delay, and they will delay the third CC. They get into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Rough losses for XY. The Reapers, they even get into the main base, and they get another worker. 4 SCVs in total. CuKu taking a worker lead, but XY does manage to get across the map with his main army. I don't think he can break the natural, but again, his goal here, I imagine, is to contain. There we go. So Drew managed to get a disable on those tanks. Likewise, a counter disable as well. As we stack disables at each other, but it looks like XY, he will lose one of his Ravens. I'm not too sure if that was worth it for XY. He trades a Raven for a tank. Yes, he is going to be forced back. Well, he's forced back, but he rotates back around over towards the right-hand side, unseen by CuKu. He doesn't see, he doesn't know. XY going to be wedging himself in between the bases. Meanwhile, CuKu does catch wind of this, is going to... Oh my god, he's going to be able to land 3 disables. Disables going down left and right. Vikings are being landed, and it looks like CuKu has too much. He has just an insane ground army, especially with those Vikings. He gets on top of the tanks. He shuts them all down. A big loss for XY. Thankfully, he does get his base up and running, but we can see XY, he lost 5 tanks to the 1 of CuKu. Oh my, I didn't realize how well CuKu traded there. My god. Only losing a single tank. And even though the supplies are close, yes, but a lot of that supply is in SCVs, is in Marines. CuKu has supply that counts, that matters more, that is more impactful. That is in those tanks. Tanks and Vikings. Oof. As a big mine shot does go off on that Raven. XY taking a defensive position back at home. But again, CuKu has momentum. He's moving out, looking to get in range of these towers. XY getting ready for a surround even. Oh, no, never mind. It's going to say surround, but actually going for a drop across the map. Going for a drop across the map instead. Fourth base is being taken on location. The drop is spotted by CuKu. He's able to keep up, and he shuts it down. XY should be able to at least cancel the fourth base. Snipes a Raven as well. Very nice pickup here, but is going to be losing his medevacs in the retreat. Players going blow for blow. We'll see if CuKu keeps pushing from here, as XY is attempting to get away with this fourth base. There's very little to defend at this third. XY sending everything across the map. And now gets spotted by the center tower. CuKu he sees. He's responding. Racing over towards his own third base. Third, yeah, he doesn't get here in time. Third is going to be lifted. Tank goes down, and XY, he drops into the main. Goes for a drop into the main base. Likewise, CuKu gets into the main of XY. It's a double drop, though, and XY, he's going to lose so many more SCVs. Oh, my God. The entire mineral line is going to be going down. Even though XY had less Marines to work with, he actually gets an equivalent amount of SCVs. As he did have another drop here into the natural. But the main command center goes down. Thankfully for XY, he has a fourth. So we still have like an even base count. A similar base count. 3 base versus 3 base. Oh, as that third is taking a lot of hits. Oh my God. The CC went down. The CC just barely went down as well. XY, he is hurting down to 2 bases. Down heavily here in the economy. He may be up in workers, but he's not really making use of them. He's double expanding to make up for it. At the same time, here comes CuKu through the center of the map, getting on top of these tanks once again. 3 tanks go down for free. And it looks like XY, he just lost too much too quickly. He doesn't have the best economy here to replace these losses. And CuKu, he's looking to put a point on the board for his team. He's looking to start things off with a bang. Drop in the natural, drop in the main. Gonna try and pull CuKu back home. Gonna try and buy XY some time. But there's only so much time can do. Yeah, the Marines are going down. CuKu, he's across the map. He sieges up, and sure, the third base is fortified, but CuKu doesn't care. He goes straight for the natural. Gets on top of the armory. Gets on top of the natural base. And this is game-ending damage. Kills the armory, kills the CC, and he's going to get both engineering bays as well. Ay. The depots are next. If he wanted to, he could try to push up into the main. At the same time, we do have a big Marine counterattack, and oh my God, he's going to get the third. Okay. Things, they're getting a little bit rowdy. They're getting rowdy, Papi. Medevacs are going down for free as well. At the same time, though, we drop the third base. The tanks go down. There's still just so much in favor of CuKu. Despite losing his third base, he still has too much. He's sending his reinforcements across the map, and this third of XY is looking very vulnerable. That's a lot of Marines, Papi. That's a lot of Marines. As he's pushing forward towards that triangular third base. The tanks are in a good position, don't get me wrong. They are in a good position, but the third is being denied. So many SCVs are idle. So many SCVs just aren't really mining. And CuKu is going for that base. XY, he's helping a little bit of copium here in this game. He's down to 1 mining base. CC goes down. He still has a lot of workers, but GG gets called. It's just too much, and CuKu will take game number 1. And that's a big win here for CuKu, a big win for Team Rotti. GG. He will be denying the 2-0. We'll be fighting back here against the ace player of Invictus Gaming. And the pressure is now on XY. Again, his team were looking to him to really get the ball rolling in this series. If Invictus Gaming were to bring down Team Rotti, they would have needed XY to 2-0. Without that, things are going to get quite difficult for IG. Not impossible, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough here to make it on out, as it is going to be XY's map of choice. We're going to Royal Blood. Royal Blood is up next. Looking at the chat, he tanked his supply. You're an animal. Still triggers me that they're called Rotti. Look, it's on them. They made that their name. Rotti. Makes me think of the trolley gummies. Trolley gummies? I'm looking this up. I was never one for sweets. I was never one for like lollies or anything like that. So I kind of missed out. Missed out a little bit. But they look nice. I'm looking them up. I want some, Papi. I want some. It's probably for the best that you stay away from lollies. Probably. I mean, sometimes you treat yourself, Papi. You treat yourself. But we are getting ready for our next game on Royal Blood. XY, he needs to bring it back here and now. Again, if IG want a chance at making it through into the next round of Code A, they need XY. They need to rely on their boy, and XY, he needs to bring it all together here. What does he have in store for us? Do we cheese? Do we proxy on Royal Blood? We could. Do we take the gold? Where's my Asher? We need Asher to come out with a passage. We need an XY passage. He needs your help, Papi. Can you hear me? He needs you. Ay, ay, ay. Time to look up some Sun Tzu quotes. Something about milking the land. I just oh god. Art of War quotes. Victorious warriors win first, then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have representing Team Rotti, the Romanian Terran. It is CuKu. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the King of Mental, the King of the Art of War. For Invictus Gaming, it is XY. I love that. And again, the pressure is on XY here to bring it all back, to fight back against the madman that is CuKu. And again, there wasn't anything too crazy about that last game. We had some pretty standard openers overall. We just saw XY just take a couple of bad fights. I say a couple of bad fights. Remember, it was one horrible fight actually for XY. which occurred in between the natural and the third base, where he tried to wedge himself there. And as the fight started, he got disabled and he lost 5 tanks. He lost 5 tanks to the 1 of CuKu. And that trade just was something that XY was never able to fully recover from. From that moment, XY, he was desperately trying to drop. He was dropping all over the place, trying to pull apart CuKu, trying to do some equalizing damage. But after that initial trade, then CuKu, his main army was just perpetually ahead when it came to the quality of the army, his tank count, his Raven count, his Vikings. Was just something that's that XY was having difficulty overcoming. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's not quite it. I'm like, Asher, we need a quote for XY, and he's like, oh, I want to offer promotion. Copy pasta. Esther Asher. I'm just shaking my head. You're in Hannibal. I want to offer promotion of your channel, complete with chest hair, puppets, prawns, and balance winding. The price is only that you must cast for 16 hours per day, and the merchandise is guaranteed to be the best. Oh, let's go. As the Reapers are going to be engaging with each other, we can see just double gas openers going into that natural on location. Oh, CuKu overextending is going to be losing his first Reaper here. And this is why it's really risky to be aggressive with your first Reaper. It's really risky to be assertive with it just because you don't know if your opponent went for like a double Rax opener or has an additional Reaper on the way and didn't go for a reactor. So again, a bit of an overextension from CuKu. We'll give XY a little bit of extra map control here in the early game as he's moving out across the map. Looking to delay the CC on the low ground. Looks like he will. He gets a kill on that worker and then backs the hell off. You got XY fully aware that CuKu will have reinforcements coming out. Auto on, incredibly handsome and convenient food order panel. Everything in your hands. Please turn me on and off. Go to patreon.com/the Ducklings. Let's go. Thank you, Sando. Thank you. Thank you for the personalized copy pasta. As we see, this time CuKu is the first to get into tank production. Interesting. We were talking about it earlier. I think it was in the previous TVT. About how going for a Cyclone first is very safe. It's very safe. It's a very powerful unit in the early game. It protects you against any early game aggression, whether it's drop play, whether it's Banshees, any kind of push. So the Cyclone makes a lot of sense, but we can see CuKu cutting corners. He skips the Cyclone, going straight into tank production, taking a more defensive role early on, and it makes a lot of sense that he would, especially after losing his first Reaper. He's just accepting the fact that, you know what, I'm just going to stay at home for the most part and build up my tank count early on. He is being active with his Hellions and Reapers. He needs to be. He needs to try to get a read on any fast third base or any potential all-in. But he's keeping the rest at home. Oof, as the Reapers dip in and they are punished for it. One Reaper does go down. And CuKu, upon taking a more defensive position, he is the first also to take a third base. Third CC is on the way for our blue Terran. So once again, 2 games in a row, he is looking to take an economic advantage. And we'll see how XY responds to this. For now, just moving out on the map, trying to catch any stray units. He's getting his third CC on location, which is a good way to make up for his timing deficit. Widowmines looking at each other from afar. Oh no! XY! It was beautiful. Widowmine does go down, unfortunately. Looking off to what could be, to what should have been, but never will. As CuKu is taking his third base, going to be floating it over, or looking to soon float it over, once it is ready. And upon taking down that Widowmine, we can see that XY, he can move across the map. Just like that previous game, I'm pretty sure his goal here is to just contain his opponent, to delay that third base for as long as he can. With these Ravens, he has potential to maybe break the natural, but it's going to be a risky maneuver to go for it. And he's going for it. We have the 2 disables. We have the counter disables as well. Auto towers are thrown down. Marines are coming in from the main base. Ravens are falling for XY. Yeah, and this may just be too much. Ay. Once again, XY just overextending. He loses everything. I think 2 Ravens survive, but that is it. As you can see, CuKu trading so well, barely losing any of his minerals or his gas. And after that move, XY is on the back foot. He does have a worker lead, but he loses army control, and CuKu can go for a massive counterattack. The SCVs, they top everything up, and CuKu, he's moving out across the map. Uh-oh. Not like this. XY's got a handful of tanks, don't get me wrong. The move that has been spotted by the Widowmine. XY fully aware. Oh. Yeah, but we have the disables being thrown down. Only 1 disable was available. Yeah, but the Ravens are falling. The Marines are trying to collapse on this position. The Vikings land, and only 1 tank does survive. God, those Ravens are so low. It looks like CuKu just doesn't really have enough to push through. Like, sure, he may have had a tank lead, but we need more than just tanks. We need Marines, we need Vikings, we need some kind of supportive unit. As CuKu is leapfrogging his way forward. He's got 2 Marines, by the way. 2 Marines, but he's feeling confident. He wants to push in. There we go. There's that disable. Tanks getting within range. And XY will be losing another tank. The reinforcements have arrived. CuKu actually has, like, a pretty formidable army. And yeah, XY, he has to pull the boys. And this is a move of desperation. What else can he do other than pull those workers? The Vikings land. Auto turrets are thrown down. And even if XY cleans this up, he's losing too many SCVs. 33 workers go down. XY holds, but at what cost? At the cost of every worker at his third base. He's throwing down a 4th on location. He's going for a big doom drop across the map. A Hail Mary play. And CuKu does not have vision. He scans ahead of time. He sees that the army is missing. He knows it's somewhere, and the Vikings, they do manage to get in position, but a little bit too late. As XY, he goes for the drop into the main. Boys are being pulled. The rest of the army rotating on over. A lot of SCVs are going down. But it will cost XY every single unit here. As he tries to boost the hell out. And hey, XY, he takes a worker lead, unironically. He's ahead in workers. He's got a 4th on the way. And he gets away with that medevac. And the counterattacks are not stopping. We have another Marine force here getting ready to dive into that 3rd. CuKu had a lead, but now not so much. Now the lines are blurring. Things are evening up. As we do see CuKu going for a double drop across the map. He does get eyes on the 4th base. Goes for a drop into the main. There is a tank in position. And CuKu, he won't be able to deal with that. At the same time, another drop into the natural base of CuKu. SCVs are falling. 6 more workers go down. CuKu was looking so good earlier, but XY, he's pulling it off. He's coming back. He got 6 more SCVs. You see CuKu moving out, trying to punish this 4th base, but it is a planetary. Planetary is under threat. XY, can he keep it alive? He does steam in from behind. Yeah, he will clean up these tanks. A big loss for CuKu. 3 tanks go down for 3 SCVs. CuKu is going to take care of the engineering bay at least. Not bad. Both E-bays even. CuKu, he will have a pretty big window where he can have 3-3 over his opponent. Oh, but the medevac goes down. And XY suddenly has momentum on his side. He's moving out across the map, does scan ahead of time, does spot the army. And XY, he doesn't care. He goes straight for the third base. CuKu out of position, will lose his third. And we're going for a base trade. We are going full base trade as XY goes to the main base, but an army's waiting for him. No! An army was waiting. Big disables on the medevacs. Full medevacs go down. Ay. CuKu, he drops on the low ground, getting on top of the tanks as well. He's going for a big counterattack across the map. He takes care of the third base of XY. Chaos, pandemonium, lag. Everything going wrong. XY does keep a couple of Marines alive. He's going to be threatening the main, at least a little bit. Does have a tank on the low ground. He's still wreaking havoc. He still has that 4th CC up and running. So we do have 3 base versus 3 base. XY still has a worker lead. As XY is just being as annoying as possible with this drop. He finally gets cleaned up. But not before killing 8 more workers and a couple of depots. Now, CuKu is about to finish up +3. I don't know if that's the most important upgrade, though. Does not +3 armor. And again, they don't really influence these tanks. But CuKu is looking to move out. Now, CuKu is down heavily in workers. He has half the worker count of his opponent, but he has a large army. He has a big army. A lot of tanks are available for the Blue Terran. He's moving out. As he moves out once again, XY is pushing in. He is spotted by CuKu. You don't see him ahead of time. He's going to rotate over. But really, this is just giving XY time to build up a larger army, a bigger army, an army that he needs to go toe-to-toe with CuKu. He drops into the main once again. He's crazy. Oh, the medevacs are barely alive. He gets the armory. Again, it's something. But CuKu is sending everything across the map. 6 tanks. At the same time, he's also losing workers back at home. The tank falls. The natural base is under threat. But CuKu is busting into the main. He takes big tank shots to the face. Can XY hold on? He has the fringe bases. He's got the workers. He still has his production available. And CuKu, he can't break the main. He cannot push in. Oof. Even taking a couple of tank shots as he tries to retreat. Yeah, CuKu is just losing a little bit too much. Bleeding out too many units. He's down to 28 workers. The army that you see from CuKu, that's all he has. That's all he has left. And with the arrival of these liberators, it looks like XY, the quality of his army is just too great. He's pulling the boys as well because he may as well. As we get into our final fight here of the game. Tanks are falling one after the other. The Marines, they're trying to do what they can with their upgrade advantage, but even against SCVs, they struggle. And CuKu loses everything. GG gets called. XY, he fights back. He puts a point on the board for his team, for Invictus Gaming. GG. GG, well played. Uh, a wild game. Very back and forth. At times, XY was dead. At times, CuKu was dead. They were crazy, Poppy. They were crazy. But in the end, in the midst of that base trade, XY, he was able to do some crippling damage and get a lot of worker kills. Meanwhile, back at home, he was continuing SCV production throughout the entire event. Was able to sneak out another base on the left-hand side, and yeah, was able to build up his army as a result. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we have a tied-up series, and we're getting to our second best of two. It's going to be between Special and TATP. Here we go. Special coming in as the favorite player. Looking at the lineups, it looks like UThermal Mark is not available. So unfortunately, Team Rotti, they won't be able to rely on UThermal, but they have Special here to lead the way. I would say that Special is the strongest player of Team Rotti's lineup tonight. Maybe period. Maybe in general, he's considered better than UThermal at the moment. Would make sense. UThermal, he is the YouTube man, more than anything. So Special is the one to beat, and can TATP cause the upsets? Now, if I recall correctly, upsets did occur in the qualifier. I'm pretty sure, who was it? It was the CIS team that took down Special. It was UED Soldier. Very unfamiliar with him from Hokkaido T team, but UED Soldier went 1-1 versus Special and forced him all the way into the ace match as well. So yeah, Special, he's been Protoss before. He has been Protoss before. Can he be Protoss again? We'll see. We shall see. I'm catching up. Catching up in the chat. Asher co-cast when? Probably during the weekend. Maybe we'll get some Asher over the weekend. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oh yeah, true. I look at XY's mindset from afar. Exactly. How could we doubt XY? Of course he had already won the game. Well ahead of time. "10 out of 10 mindset." Predictions are open. Asher slacking. Asher, he always only casts over the weekend. I think in the very beginning he was casting a little bit during the week, but very quickly we found out that was a bad idea. Like ruining his sleep schedule. Like Asher, he's got a day job, I should say, a day job to look after. He has to wake up, Bob. He has to wake up. So it's all good. It's all good. Always prioritizing IRL commitments first. I always do push for that. As we are getting ready here for our next best of two, again, it is going to be Special versus TATP on Altitude. Obviously, Special is coming in as the favorite player, but our Chinese Protoss player could be coming in with a plan. Whether it's game 1 or game 2, all he needs to do is take one map off of Special to, keep the series even, to keep up with Team Rotti. Can he do the impossible? Can he pull off a 2-0? Now that would be crazy. He can have 2 jobs, Oh, he could, but he doesn't. So we'll see how this goes. For now, it looks like the players are just getting ready. Just preparing themselves. And altitude is going to be an interesting one. We don't really get to see too many TVPs on this. It does typically get vetoed. And just because the map is so large, it's so vast, things like proxies could be quite common on this map as well. Whether it's proxies or from either player, to be honest, whether it's a Terran or a Protoss. I know Special is more than willing to be a little bit spicy here in a series. Even with things on the line, even in a best of 2, he's willing. He is willing. This is also a good map for something like Phoenix Colossus. Again, because it's so large, Phoenixes can do really well just maintaining map control and shutting down drop play, shutting down pushes, giving you the room you need to get into Colossus production, which could be what TATP goes for. Again, I haven't casted too much of TATP recently. I'm not too familiar with how they play and how they approach the matchup, so we're all going to learn together. We introduced to this player together. I'm catching up, and true, you're not wrong. Special, like TY, has been kind of experimenting a little bit with mech versus Protoss, with Banshee tank against, Banshee Cyclone even against Protoss, and I mean, we saw TY succeed. We saw TY take down Classic in GSL with mech, like he has done it. But I think that was on Neo Humanity, if I remember correctly. It was either Neo Humanity or Altitude. The map is a little bit blurry because I do know he played a lot on Altitude on that day. And I know Special, obviously, he's really good friends with TY. They go over these builds together. They do come up and refine these builds together as well. So if anyone were to do something like go for Mass Banshee and going to mech, against Protoss, it would be Special. Not saying that's what he will do, but that's something that he can do. It would be nice. It would be nice. Oh. Until then, is everything okay? We may end up going for... I mean, again, if one of our players is unavailable, then we can, of course, go for a different series instead. Like, we may just shift things around and go for... HiGhDrA versus BreakingGG first. But I'm sure they have their players available, and we're just kind of sorting things out, maybe getting a bit of a bio break. Hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully everything is okay. I'm sure our players are awake and available. I'm sure. But for now, I guess we can go on a short break. I'm sure we can go on a short break here, and we'll come back as soon as we get things ready, as soon as we get into this. We don't know if something's gone wrong. We've been here for a while. So gonna be going in a short break. When we return, we'll have our next best of 2. See you soon. And we are back. Oh, thankfully, wasn't too long of a break, but we have returned here with our TVP, and in the bottom left-hand corner, we have TATP for Invictus Gaming, and in the top right, we had Special for Team Rotti as well. And this is what I assumed would happen. I mentioned earlier that Special is more than willing to be far more aggressive, even in these high-stake games, even in a best of 2, and he's going for a proxy Rax across the map. Now, it is only one proxy Rax, so it's not too committed. With this Rax, he's going to be going into Reapers, I imagine, and he should be setting his SCV in as well for a bunker in the natural base. It's just a good way to get an early game lead, an early game economic lead against your opponent, to deny mining time, to disrupt the economy here of the Protoss. And we'll see how TATP can react and respond, and even what they go for in this game. Now, I made an assumption earlier that, things that are good on this map, in this matchup, can be Stargate openers into Phoenix, into Colossi, but we'll see what TATP has in store for us and what he's fond of in this matchup. Meanwhile, the Reaper's on the way. The SCV is sent back home. It actually doesn't go across the map. It doesn't go in towards the natural, so there will not be a bunker. Will only be a proxy Reaper. And if there is no shield battery in the main base, it's going to come down to the control of TATP about preserving those probes, keeping them alive, keeping them safe, pulling them away from the Reaper. Otherwise, things will snowball out of control. There we go. The first Reaper is making its way into the main base. Boys are being pulled, and it looks like so far no damage is done. But I spoke too soon. The Reaper almost does get surrounded. 2 probes go down. So far, so good for Special. He does, of course, confirm the natural base being taken. And he does get the hell out of there, avoiding that Stalker. Meanwhile, the Rax is floating back home. Second Reaper does join the first. And together they can go back in and look to pick off even more workers. And one Stalker is going to have a hard time keeping up, as TATP does at least spot and confirm the Rax floating back home. And he's going for a Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate. Interesting choice here from our Chinese Protoss player. Of course, I'm imagining Blink is going to be on the way, but we'll keep our eye on him. We'll see if he goes for something different, like even Charge, for some kind of crazy all-in. He does have a probe out on the map. For now, the Hellion meets up with the Reapers. We dive into the natural base, and all of these workers are going to go down. Oof. 2, 3 probes in total. The Hellion sticks around, and he's looking for a 4th probe, and he's going to get it. 4 worker kills. Meanwhile, the Reaper dives into the main base. Oh, the Reaper Cliff is not quite covering the ramp, and he does confirm the Twilight Council. He even sees it researching as well, so he knows it's not a DT opener. So a very nice scout from Special. Very nice economic damage. Special taking an economic lead. And he's just not over. He's not done. Behind this, we have a mine drop. It's coming across the map. We have a 2-1-1 setup here from Special. We have tanks on the way. And TATP's on the back foot. For the time being, he's only on 1 gateway, but there we go. 2 more gates are thrown down. It's going to be at least 3 Gate Blink Stalker. I imagine he's going to go for a 4th gateway as well, as he does wall off completely at that Reaper Cliff. And here we go. Here comes Special. Goes straight for the main base. No reaction. Okay, we have a late reaction. Probes are pulled away, but 3 workers go down, and the Widow Mines are saved. Blink is not done. The medevac does escape. Special. This game has just been having his way with the workers of TATP. Look after your workers, Poppy. Look after them. As we do throw down additional gateways, it is going to be very committed here from TATP. Going for... Oh, is that 5 Gate Blink Stalker? Yeah, that's 5 gateways. Okay, so it's not even 4. So 4 gateways would be committed. Any more than that is pretty all-in. It's pretty all-in from the Protoss. Oh, the mine! Oh my god. Mine goes off. It doesn't just get a massive shot on the prism, but it also scouts the prism moving out as well. Special, he's getting ready back at home. Good positioning with his tanks. He has a bunker and his natural. We could do with the bunker in the main. But alas, for now, he just doesn't need it. Behind this, TATP going for charge even. Okay. Going to be shifting gears. Reaper comes in, confirms the lack of additional gases, confirms the lack of third base, gets 2 probe kills. Special all over this game. Is that a second cyber? That's a misclick. Oh, wait. No, yeah, it is. Is it? Okay, I guess not. There you go. Beautiful. So I wonder if that's like cheaper than a gateway. So for those wondering, the way this works, usually when the rocks fall, they kill the tower and then the rocks are left over. The rocks are left over and you have to work through the rocks. If you throw down a building where there's an Evo chamber or a depot or, as we saw, a cyber core, then the building would actually destroy the rocks and they don't actually spawn underneath the tower and you can expand. So I appreciate this. TATP, he's behind. He's behind this game. Things are not looking good at all for the Protoss. We gotta do something crazy. We're going for the goal base. At the same time, we blink up into the natural. Gonna be losing a couple of Stalkers in the process. We take down the tank. That was an expensive loss for TATP, and that is triggering a counterattack. But the gold is on the way. And again, this is a good way to come back. Can he get it up and running, though? Can he get away with the gold? No, no! The Prism gets queued in, and it will go down in the main base of Special. Not like this. As Special is moving out, does he get other probes? They tell a big story. Special, he can see the workers with the gold minerals. He's aware of the gold base. He's going to look to deny it. It will not get up and running. Aye. Big mine shot's going to be going off. The Zelts are being cleaned up as well. Looks like TATP may have an overwhelming number of gateway units, though. He does force Special back, but at the cost of 13 probes. Oh my god! The Medivacs! Full Medivacs go down. Our Protoss, they're still in this. May have lost the mineral line. May have lost a lot of workers. But did clean up the army, is now going for a big counterattack. Can Special hold on to his own third? Yeah. Without too many Zealots, he can. So he does have a lot of Widow Mines with this army. Speaking of, the mine shots are soon to go off. Nice up borrow from Special. Oh. We have a little bit of friendly fire as well. And TATP is holding on. But again, he just doesn't have an economy behind this. He's running out of steam. Reinforcements are trickling on in and Stalkers are going down. Big stims from Special. Yeah, and it looks like this base is going to be broken. We have an auto turret coming in from behind. Probes are falling, the Zealots go down, and now the Marauders, they can get on top of the Stalkers. GG gets called, and Special will take game number 1. Ooh, GG. Oh my god. A wild game there. Again, Special for the most part was in the driver's seat. A very, very assertive game from Special. TATP had his moments. Definitely, there were a couple of good moments for him when he was able to clean up the army, and the whole idea of going for the gold, I think, was a good idea as well. Unfortunately, it was never able to pay for itself. It never really came into play, and especially had too much map control and momentum in general for him not to come across the goal at some point. So GG, well played. Special will take game 1, but it is now IG's map of choice, and this is what I'm excited for. You know, game 1 was, of course, always going to be rough. But now, the losing player has an advantage. TATP, it is his map choice. So he can kind of come in with a plan ahead of time, come in prepared on whatever map he chooses, and hopefully try to catch Special off guard. That is going to be the goal. We'll see if he can pull it off again. If he wins this game, he will tie the series between IG and Team Rotti. If Special takes this game, then they will have a very strong lead, and things will not bode too well for IG afterwards. Again, this is an elimination match. A lot is on the line. A lot of pressure on these players. Boy, we still have another best of 2 after this. At least one more best of 2. Between HiGhDrA and BreakingGG. We'll see if they can pull it off. I love this. Cybercore beats Rock, but does it beat Paper and Scissors? Oh, these are good questions. Good questions. Exploit detected. I'm not too sure if that's an exploit. I mean, everyone does it. Like whether it's Protoss, Terran, or Zerg. Like if you throw down a building under those rocks, you do get rid of them. Is that intentional? That's the important question. Whether or not that's intentional. As I mean, we're getting a new map pool anyway. Exciting times, right? Exciting times. I think it's coming at the end of the month. I think it's planned for the end of the month before we get into the DreamHack qualifiers. New map pool, new patch. It's all on the way. It's all on the horizon. Exciting, exciting. As I believe the regionals for DreamHack Atlanta are going to be at the end of October. And I think the qualifiers are at the start of October. So it's right around the corner. We're almost there. Almost there. And it looks like we have our map of choice. TATP has chosen Dragon Scales. Interesting. A bit of a smaller map. A much smaller map compared to Altitude. There is a lot of potential for aggression for proxy play. For 2-base all-ins even. And everything that I'm saying favors Special. Like, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit concerned, but at the same time, excited to see what TATP can bring to the table. What do they have planned here for Dragon Scales? What are we going to see? What are we going to get? I wouldn't be opposed like a proxy gateway, like only one though, where you have a gateway across the map, a gateway at home, you go for a zealot first, and you try to take control of the natural base. Something like that could work, but I think that's heavily reliant upon the Terran player going for an economic opener. And on Dragon Scales, I don't see Special doing that. It's a tricky one. Tis difficult. But for now, the players are just going to be getting ready. I'm sure just picking their server as well. For those wondering, Juanito is no longer in Korea. I don't know if you noticed, but the GSL qualifiers were last night. Last night they were the GSL qualifiers. And Special, unfortunately, wasn't a part of them because he is no longer living in Korea. We did return to Mexico a couple of months ago. I don't think he's back in... Or I don't know when he's going to be returning to Korea. It's really weird. It's kind of weird to think about, just because he's been there for so long, been living in Korea for so long, but alas, no longer the case. But maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe we'll get him back. We'll get him back. Oh. Also, you can take this moment to hydrate hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, and recline your reapers as well. Take a moment. Stretch. Look away from the monitor, away from the screen. Hold on. Posture check. No slouching. No slouching in the chat. Look after yourselves. Look after yourselves. Oh, while we wait for this game. Oh. ready, Papa. Get ready. Again, after this, it's going to be HiGhDrA versus BreakingGG, which is going to be an interesting best of 2, to be honest. I'm not too sure how I want to call it. In general, I think I want to favor BreakingGG. I know HiGhDrA has been an up-and-coming player for a long time, but we'll see what he has to offer. As here we go, we're finally getting into our next game. In the top left-hand corner for Team Rotti, the Mexican Terran player, it is Special. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent for Invictus Gaming. It is TATP. Pimp your probes? Oh my god. Is that legal? I don't know if we can do that to our probes, Barbie. Hey. Come up with something a little bit more PG, a little bit more PG-13. And then we'll do something to our probes. We'll do something. Hey. I mean, the probes, they are making us money, but I don't know if we want to pimp them out. I don't think that's... I don't think that's a good idea. No. Not like this. As look at these, this is an interesting Special in a TVP going for a 2-rax, a low ground 2-rax opener. Reapers are on the horizon. A lot of Reapers as well. Interesting. I kind of like this on a small map. On a small map like Dragon Scales, Reapers are gonna get across the map quite quickly. Quite quickly indeed. We'll see if TATP can keep up. He's going for a gate expand. Very economic opener, very greedy opener from TATP. Is going to be delaying that cyber core, which will delay the initial units as well. From our Protoss player. Reapers are on the way. And I'm really curious. How many Reapers Special is going to make. Against Zerg, you only make 3, and you are only forced to make more than 3 if you see a third base being taken. But that is very unique to TVZ. When it comes to versus Protoss, I'm unsure. I'm a little bit unsure as to the nature of what triggers additional Reapers and when you stop and how many you commit to. As the first Reaper does make its way across the map. Gets into the main base, gets 1 probe before being forced out by that Stalker. And it looks like 3. Okay, so 3 Reapers in total. We have add-ons in production. It's going to be the Tech Lab as well as the Reactor. Meanwhile, Special throws out a 3rd rack, so it's going to be a 2-rax opener into a 3-rax, which of course makes plenty of sense, especially in this matchup. And here we go. We're diving in with 3 Reapers. We ignore the Stalker. Go straight for the mineral line. We get 2 more probes. 3 more. 3 more probes before getting out of there. But Special did lose one of his Reapers. So not the best trade. I mean, 4 workers in total isn't bad. But did lose a Reaper in the process. Oh, I like this as well. Special, instead of going straight for Stim, he's prioritizing Concussive Shell. Now, the reasoning for that is that 3-raxes hit a little bit later. You usually wait for a multitude of upgrades. To go into Concussive Shell first, you actually have like a standing army that can go toe-to-toe with Stalkers. This is a more aggressive variation, but Special, he's rallying everything across the map. And with his first 3 Marauders, he can try to bust into the natural. He can focus down the Stalkers, he can try to focus down the shield battery as well. This is going to be a scary moment for the Protoss player. Behind the Stim is on the way. Now, again, I'm curious if it looks like Special, he's only in position to punish a move out. And, oh my god, our Protoss is going all in. It's going to be a 2-base, 6-gate all in. Who's going to hit first? That is the question. Who is going to hit first? Again, Special, he's only in position to catch a move out. He's waiting for Stim before he does commit to his own push. God, it's going to be a 2-base. I think it's going to be an 8-gate all-in. He's already got 7. The army has been revealed. Gateways are about to finish up. Shield battery overcharges pop, but it's being focused down by the Marauders. And they do bring it down. Without the shield battery, I don't know if TATP has enough. He can warp in 6 Zealots at a time, but he just doesn't really have the money for it. There we go. The kiting is good. The star stepping is good as well. The juggling from the Protoss. He's able to keep a couple of Zealots alive. He's barely breaking through. Yeah, he cleans up the Marauders. There's just an overwhelming force of Zealots, and Special did this blindly. It's very unfortunate that Special was doing this 3 racks, and it was being so aggressive against specifically a 2-base all-in. Like that, TATP is not turning around, and he's sending everything across the map. He has a Prism on the way as well. Like there's no transition from the Protoss. Just pure charge all in. Oh my god, we don't have vision in the main. And the Zealots do get into the Mineral Line. SCVs are going down. There is a bunker in position. But we are just elevating everything into the main base, going for another big warp in. TATP is supply blocked. Oh, this is a brutal supply block as well. So far, the SimCity is looking pretty good here for Special. The boys are being pulled once again. A lot of SCVs are going to go down. An insane amount of SCVs are going down, actually. 22 in total. Ay. Marauders are being chased as well. And it looks like TATP is pulling this off, by the way. The upsets are real. I mean, we saw Special lose to a Protoss player during the qualifiers. A Protoss player that we just did not expect to occur. It was a UED Soldier. I'm not too sure what happened in that series. I'm pretty sure UED Soldier was going for all-ins. And here, Special, he is down to 16 SCVs. He has no third TC. Instead of a third TC, he threw down 2 more Raxes instead. He went up to 5 Raxes. And the production is exposed. Raxes are going down. The Special is knocked down to 1 mining base. That's all he has left. That bunker is arguably the only thing keeping Special alive right now. The bunker is holding on. Tanking a lot of hits, but it finally does go down. And TATP has done it. He has broken through. GG gets called. And TATP ties it up 1-1. Oh my god. GG, well played. The 2-base charge all in. Again, Special, unfortunately, he was committing to a very aggressive variation of a 3 racks, and he had no idea what he was pushing into. He had no idea that his opponent was all in. So he just lost the main brunt of his army, and things snowballed very quickly out of control. Special was in the dark, and as a result, we're getting into our next series, into our next best of 2. And now I have to be worried once again for Team Rotti. Now, HiGhDrA has been competing for a long time. He's been around for a long time, but he's been more of an amateur player, more of like a really up and coming player in Europe, looking to break into the scene. I want to favor BreakingGG. I want to say that BreakingGG has more accolades under his name. He's a little bit more successful as a player. HiGhDrA still trying to make a name for himself. I'm concerned. Before I get too concerned though, I'm quickly going to double check this. I want to see what the most recent results are. Okay, so let's have a look. We had some Aristocry show matches. HiGhDrA did defeat Snockstar 3-2. Pretty impressive, pretty impressive. Snockstar, he's no slouch. He took a game off of Mixu recently as well. What else? What else? He 2-0'd Eba. He 2-1 Dimaga. Okay. Some good PvZ results. He 3-1 Dimaga back in April. Alright, so maybe I should have more faith. Maybe I should have more faith here in HiGhDrA. For him to take down Dimaga and Eba, as well as Snockstar, some pretty strong European Zerg players. So yeah, this is going to be a close one. It's going to be a close one. If we go 1-1, we have an ace match. Any other results, and the series will end here and now. Did I hear Eba? True. He did beat Eba, but was Eba playing Zerg or Protoss? That's an important question. I know it's marked as Zerg on Wikipedia, but Eba could have very easily been playing Protoss. Would not be surprised. Esta Eba. Shaking my head. Predictions are open. Losing to Gateway Man. The Gateway Man is pretty strong. Oh. Sorry, I my mistake. Primp your probes. I'm unfamiliar with the term. Unfamiliar. Pretty sure no one has used it since 1823. Primp. What are we even saying right now? Spend time making minor adjustments to one's hair, makeup, or clothes. There you go. There you go. Aye. But we are getting ready here for our next game. For our final best of 2 of the night. It all comes down to HiGhDrA versus BreakingGG. And I'm excited. Again, I haven't had the luxury of casting HiGhDrA for a couple of years, I think. It's been a long time since I casted HiGhDrA. So because of that, I'm excited to see how much he has grown as a player. I mentioned earlier, for him to take down players like Eba, like Dimaga, like Snogstar, it's impressive. It's more than I thought that would have been around like his level of play. So I want to see what he can bring to the table. I want to see how he does against a player like BreakingGG. Oh. Here we go. Again, it's going to be on Near Humanity as well. So I do think that a lot comes down to the playstyle of our Protoss player. A map like Near Humanity, we have seen very frequently already tonight. Zerg all-ins are very common, so the defensive play of HiGhDrA is going to be put to the test, especially against BreakingGG. Likewise, is he one to rush into SkyToss? You know, he is on Team Rotti. And I know Team Rotti, he always does push for SkyToss whenever he can from his players, from his boys. So that could be why HiGhDrA is on Team Rotti. He may like to rush the Tempest. It's possible. It would make sense. We'll see. Again, predictions are open. I think they just closed even. So good luck. Good luck with said predictions. So if Team Rotti if Trotti makes it through the qualifier, we'll have to fight Basilisk. Which side will Rotti himself be on? So Rotti is the owner of Team Rotti, but he's not on the roster. So Rotti, I'm sure he will be playing for Team Basilisk, not for Trotti. Maybe that's why it's called Trotti. Maybe he's trying to distance himself a little bit, like branding wise, to make sure it's not confusing. Aye. But that will be a little bit awkward. It will be awkward if they do face each other. Did someone say Tempest? Oh no. What have I done? Not the Tempest. Stay away. And hopefully the players are ready. Hopefully the players are available. As we are getting into our next game. As they may just be getting their servers ready, maybe getting their VPNs going as well. I know, especially for Chinese players, they do need to activate their VPNs if they want to play on like the American server or anything like that. So sometimes it can take some time. Tuck in your Tempest. I like that. That's wholesome, Bobby. That's wholesome. Oh, tuck them in. They're going to bed. It's beautiful. I like that. It also implies that like you're like taking them away, which I appreciate as well. You know, put them to bed. They don't need to be a part of this game. We don't have to go into a 30-40 minute split map scenario where we have like Tempest versus like Spore Forest. No. We don't need that. It's okay. Put them to bed. We don't need to see the sky, Toss. It's okay. We're all friends here. We're all friends. It's getting late. Aye. But outside of that, I hope everyone has been enjoying themselves. I hope everyone has been having a great week of StarCraft. It is hump day here. Of course, we're halfway through. And likewise, we're halfway through WTL. I mentioned it last night, but if you're enjoying WTL and World Team League, every day of the week, we have some World Team League action for you. Working through Code A. We will be wrapping up Code A within the week, finding out who makes it into the main event. Again, top three teams. If you want to get involved, consider joining the Discord, joining our Discord server. We can talk about some of these matches. Predictions, I'm sure, will be going as well. Last season, Kuro was hosting the prediction game for WTL, and we had a lot of fun there. Just kind of predicting, all the matches from week to week. I don't know if the final standings were ever revealed. Kuro, do you have like final standings on that? Not too sure.
I mean, the standings are in the spreadsheet. I don't think I ever posted them.
Okay. We should get them out there. Get them out there. Are you gonna do it again this season? What do you? It's on. Yeah. What do you say, Kuro? What do you say?
I mean, I can. Like, I already have the setup. I just need to like make a new spreadsheet.
There you go. There you go. Get involved. Get involved in the prediction game. A wild Kuro appears. Kuro, she's handling production. She's been there the entire time. But yeah, Kuro, she handles the streams for WTL whenever she can. Oh, spread those sheets. You're an animal sounder. But yeah, we do keep track of everyone from week to week for predictions for WTL. So we keep track, we have score, all that stuff. Always lurking in the shadows. But I guess we're gonna be going on a short break. I don't know. Where are the players? I don't know. But hopefully we can get into this best of 2 without too much issue. It takes a while to tuck in a Tempest. Okay, HiGhDrA, he's just busy, just getting the bed ready. The Tempest, it's a big boy. It's a big boy. So it takes a while. It takes multiple people even. It takes the whole team Rotti. So we're going to be going on a short break, and we will jump back in as soon as we have our game. See you soon. And And we are back. We apologize for the extended break, but we have our players, we have our match. And in the top left, we had HiGhDrA for Team Rotti. In the bottom right-hand corner for Invictus Gaming, we do have the Chinese Zerg player. Some know him as Kage, but it is BreakingGG. Here we go. We're just having some fun in the chat. Eat all the Colossus, Papi. Eat all the Colossus. Yeah, for now we are getting into our final best of 2. Even if this goes into an ace match, the ace match will be a best of 1. So yeah, the night is slowly coming to an end. And we'll see what kind of end that becomes here, as we do have our Zerg player going for a 15 hatch. It's going to be a 15-15 opener from BreakingGG, which makes plenty of sense, especially on a map as small as this. There we go. We do have the 15 spawning pool coming up next. For those wondering, this is an opener that has been very trendy as of late. A lot of players have been adopting this. There's some pros and cons. The pros are that in this matchup, you do get your hatchery up on location. You aren't forced to expand elsewhere, like the triangular third or the linear third base as your natural. But this does also delay your gas. Does delay your gas geyser in the end. But it's not the most important upgrade. Link speed is not the most important upgrade in this matchup, so it's okay to delay your gases in favor of a more secure setup here. Also, the other downside is that this is just overall less economic. It does mean you have a lower drone count than you usually would if you went for a hatch first, for a regular 16 hatch. I mean, even in the unnatural location, you would be able to saturate a little bit better, a little bit faster. So a little bit worse economically, but you make up for it with just, a more safer and a more comfortable setup, more comfortable base layout, which means that you'll have an easier time defending against adepts, easier time defending against oracles. As we are getting into our next game. So yeah, pretty standard setups overall between our players. HiGhDrA just going for a gate expand into his cybercore. Likewise, we have BreakingGG. Oh, never mind. Okay. Likewise, BreakingGG is going to be working towards his third base, and he's going for the triangular third base location here. Oh, is going to be delayed for a moment by this probe. Lings are coming in to deal with this, but again, this third base is going to be delayed for a moment. But again, behind this, it is not a Stargate opener. It's not a Twilight Council. It is a Robo opener instead. Now, we saw this earlier. We saw Jumi go for a double robo into double disruptor drops, which was wild, something that we rarely see. I don't expect HiGhDrA to do the same thing. With this robo opener, this could be for a disruptor drop. This could also be for a 2-base all-in with immortal production and slow lots. We'll see how committed HiGhDrA is going to be. We'll see if he throws down a third gateway and what kind of tech he goes for. There we go. As soon as the robo is done, the Rotti Bay is on the way. It is a disruptor drop. Now, the downside to this is that you have very little map control coming into the mid game as well. You don't have Blink, you don't have Charge, you don't have a Twilight Council. You're banking up a lot. You're relying a lot on these disruptors to get damage done. The Overlord dips into the main base, does get eyes on the Bay. And now BreakingGG has all the information he needs. He knows that he doesn't need spores. He knows that he can cut corners. He's going for an early Roach Warren, though. Interesting. A 4-minute Roach Warren. I wonder if he does plan on being aggressive. I wonder if he wants to move out across the map. Lair already on the way as well. If he takes additional gases, he could go for a Spire. Mutas are a good way to shut this down, especially considering there are no Phoenixes because there's no Stargate, and we have a delay on Blink as well. So very limited use of Blink Stalkers. Regardless, Prism is moving out across the map, looking to be a little bit aggressive, looking to apply pressure to the Zerg player. Roach Warren is done, and again, we should be mustering up an army to defend, to be able to minimize losses and keep up with the drop harass. Meanwhile, the Adepts have arrived. They're going to be threatening a Shade. We do have plenty of Lings, though, to keep up with this. Oh, we commit to the Shade. Bit of a misstep by HiGhDrA. He's going to lose both Adepts. And he doesn't get any drone kills. Not the best start from our Protoss player. Behind this, he doubles down. He doesn't expand. Instead of throwing down a third base, he throws down 4 more gateways. This is going to be a 2-base all-in from HiGhDrA. He's going to start with some harassment. He's going to start with harassing with these disruptors. He's going for sentries behind this. He's got a Colossus on the way. It is going to be a big 2-base all-in from the Protoss. And BreakingGG has no idea. He hasn't seen that yet. Right now, he's getting ready for the Disruptors. Little does he know that we have 6 more gateways on the way. That's going to be 7 in total. We're going to be working towards 8 gateways, I believe. Slow lots, sentries, stalkers, Colossus, you name it. Anything and everything here for HiGhDrA. Disruptors have arrived, Novas go off, and ooh, we get some big connections. 2 drones go down, and a lot of lava go down as well. A good start for HiGhDrA is going to back off. Meanwhile, we can see BreakingGG coming in with another scout, and he should get eyes on the gateway explosion. He should also see the robotics bay researching, which will tell him that, of course, Extended Thermal Lance is on the way, and this is an all-in. Now we can see HiGhDrA cutting workers, sorry, not HiGhDrA, BreakingGG is going to be cutting workers here at 54, which I think is a good worker count to stop at. I'll say like 55 is ideal. 54, of course, that's more than fine as well. Nova goes off. Oh no! Ooh, big connection on the roaches. You can see there BreakingGG panicking a little bit, being indecisive with his movement. It does pay a massive price for it. A big blow already. Another good start for HiGhDrA. Meanwhile, more Lings, roaches are on the way. We're going to need Ravagers as well to help deal with this. We need creep. But the Disruptors are not done. They come back in. This time, though, BreakingGG is ready for it. This time, he's in position. Ooh, Infestation Bit on the way. Bold move. Very bold move here from BreakingGG. Nova's going to be going off. They do connect. They take down 2 Ravagers. Ay. BreakingGG maybe losing a little bit too much. And here we go. Here comes the army. Pushing through the right-hand side. 2 Colossi, 2 Disruptors, sentries from force fields. This is a pretty terrifying and intimidating army. We can see BreakingGG trying to collapse on this. He does get 1 Disruptor, but he takes another Nova to the face. Takes down both Disruptors in the end. Force fields are slowing him down. But those were some pretty high-value pickoffs. HiGhDrA did overextend with those Disruptors. We can see BreakingGG is trying to collapse on top of these Immortals. Colossus. He wants them, Papi. And he does deal with every single one of those Stalkers. GG gets called as HiGhDrA corners himself in that 4th base. And BreakingGG, he takes game number 1. Oh, GG. Well played. The Disruptors are doing well. The Disruptors were doing well initially. But when it came to the all-in, when it came to the push, we saw the Disruptors were sniped. Straight away they were sniped. And ideally you need to preserve them to be able to constantly threaten the Roach army with Purification Novas. With the death of those Disruptors, you could see that BreakingGG, there was nothing stopping him from just collapsing on that army. And it wasn't just about like the engagements and the interactions between the 2 armies. It was also important that BreakingGG was able to scout. He was able to scout both times, the initial opener as well as the 2-base all-in follow-up as well. So he was able to cut workers. He wasn't too greedy. He wasn't rushing into a 4th base. He wasn't joining up to 60 or 66 workers. No, cut workers early on, focused on Ling, Roach, Ravager, and he was able to surpass HiGhDrA here. And this is what I was worried about earlier. This is why coming into this, I did favor BreakingGG. I do think that he's more of an accomplished player. Going over the Liquipedia page, HiGhDrA has been causing some upsets. He needs to do it again. He needs to do that again. He needs this win here to force the ace match. Otherwise, Team Rotti will be eliminated from the tournament. The pressure is on HiGhDrA right now. And with the pressure on him, can he perform? Can he bring something else to the table, as this is going to be his map of choice in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales for Team Rotti, for Trotty, if you will. It is HiGhDrA. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have representing Invictus Gaming, IG. It is BreakingGG. Going for that 15 hatch once again. Ooh. So again, this 15 hatch opener has been very trendy as of late, in this matchup. As I say that, the probe gets here in time, and oh, actually, never mind. It wasn't a 15 hatch. We actually made an Overlord and we made some drones as well. That is why the hatchery was delayed. Okay, never mind. Interesting. Am I crazy? He canceled the gas geyser, right? So I think that Overlord was maybe just muscle memory. Regardless, is going to be a hatch first opener here from BreakingGG. He is going for the unnatural natural, going for a hatch gas pool. So maybe just changing his mind towards the end, or it was muscle memory and he accidentally made the Overlord, so he had to commit. Either or is definitely possible. I know that after you open for such a long time with a certain opener, it can be sometimes difficult to kind of break that mold and switch things up. This is my excuse for sometimes fumbling my own 15 hatch opener. It's it happened today. I was like, I'll go for the 15th hatch. And it's like, oh, I made the Overlord. Oh, my mistake. I guess I'm not. I guess we're just droning. But yeah, from here we're just getting into our openers. Likewise, across the map, HiGhDrA going for a gate expand, a gate expand into the cyber core. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy between our players. And the Overlord is going to dive in. The Overlord is going to get a scout off on where the pylon is. So a very important scout. I believe the Overlord can get between the bases in that dead space, and he's going to be able to dip back in to confirm what's going on. Even before that, he does confirm the Stargate opener, which is pretty important. You may not, I mean, a Stargate opener is very standard, but because of what happened in game one, it's very important to get a read on what HiGhDrA is up to, because he has shown us that clearly he is capable of going for 2 base all-ins. He is capable of anything under the sun. So he is one to be respected. He is one to keep your eye on. As we do have the Adept moving out across the map. Going to be threatening the bases, going to be threatening the mineral lines. As Link Speed is on the way, and we have a Void Ray first from HiGhDrA. So HiGhDrA, he wants to keep his build hidden. The Void Ray will shut down the Overlord across the map, and will keep the follow-up hidden from the Zerg, from BreakingGG. As Adepts do shade into the main base, they cancel the shade, they commit to 1 drone goes down, and boys have to be pulled. Oh, BreakingGG was woefully underprepared for this, and a lot of damage is being done. 4 drones go down. 4 drones for 2 Adepts. Ugh, a rough loss for the Zerg, and a good trade for the Protoss. As the Void Ray does find that Overlord. Behind this, we are actually not making another Skytoss unit. For a moment, we had an Oracle on the way, but we did cancel it. We're going for a Gateway instead. And this is feeling like maybe even Glaive Adepts. If we go for a Twilight Council, of course. Oh, no! It's not a Twilight Council. It's a Fleet Beacon. Let's go. It's going to be Skytoss. You know, HiGhDrA, I'm sure he was lurking in the chat earlier, and he heard us. He heard us talk about tucking in our Tempests. You know, putting them to bed, putting them to rest. And HiGhDrA said no. We're DJs here, Poppy. We're staying up all night. The Tempests, they're coming. And obviously, we shouldn't be rushing Tempests with this. This should be for carriers. Tempest Rush, that used to be a thing back in the day. Back in previous patches of the game. Nowadays, less common, and we should be seeing carriers on the horizon. Especially looking at this and seeing that there are no Void Rays on the way, or no additional Void Rays. There's +1 air attack. Lings were attempting to scout. I don't think the Ling got up the ramp. If the Ling had gotten up the ramp at the natural, then BreakingGG, he would have seen that Cybercore researching, but I don't think he was able to pull that off. Regardless, we have a wave of Lings on the way, Roach Warren, a Lair as well. The first 2 carriers are in production, but before the carriers can come out, BreakingGG, he's going to be looking to deny the 3rd. And he does check. I'm pretty sure he saw the researching Cybercore. I don't have confirmation, but I'm pretty sure he did. We'll see once the Lair finishes. We'll see if he throws down the Spire. We shall see. As the Lings do make their way across the map. Going to be getting here just before that shield battery finishes, getting us around on the pylon, on the Adepts as well. And these things are just wreaking havoc here. There's just not enough on the ground to deal with this. No oracles either. Shield battery goes down. And again, if you didn't see earlier, he sees the researching cyber core. We need some anti-air, Poppy. Piece it together. We have road speed and +1 melee on the way. So far, this doesn't tell us, or this doesn't really signify that he's getting ready for carriers. He's not making more queens either. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for BreakingGG a little bit. Because we have 5 queens. 2 carriers, they can take on 5 queens. And there we go. The interceptors, they're being sent out. Yeah, as the queens are being focused down one after the other. And are these carriers going to end the game on their own? They may be able to. I'll be honest. They take down 2 queens. They get a 3rd queen. The spire is exposed. It's going to go down. And this may just be game. This may just be game. The 2 carriers, they're getting out of control. They're taking control of the natural base, killing every single worker they can get their hands on. Lings go for a big counterattack, and they will get some damage across the map. But it's going to be so long until we can deal with this. Like, making 2 queens at a time is not going to be enough. Another spore goes down. And I have to be critical of BreakingGG because he saw the cyber core. If it's researching, it can only be one thing. And he was woefully underprepared. He had no idea that Skytoss was coming, despite the scout. 15 workers go down. The 3rd base is under threat, and HiGhDrA, he can keep on pushing from here. We're forcing the ace match. We are forcing the ace matches. Queens are going down in the main base. The spire is exposed once again. Oh no. Back at home, there's a big link counterattack, but it's not being broken. You know, we do have an overcharge, we have a void ray, we have a couple of units, and even with all these spores coming in, that's a lot of spores, don't get me wrong. A lot of spores are coming in. But spores are never going to deal with these carriers. Not on their own. HiGhDrA just making sure he keeps the carriers out of range. Up! Almost loses one. But yeah, he will be ending the game here. BreakingGG, he's just going to be taking this loss in. GG gets called, and HiGhDrA, he fights back here in game 2. We have an ace match. We're going all the way to game 7. GG, well played. Going for the carrier rush again. Even though BreakingGG, he didn't go into the main base, he didn't see the fleet beacon. So I'm pretty sure he saw the cybercore researching. If not the first time, the second time. The second time, the Lings saw it, but he didn't see it. He didn't piece it together, and there it is. We're going all the way to game 7. It's happening. It's happening. All the way, and this is going to be scary for IG. I think the best chance for Invictus Gaming was for BreakingGG to get the 2-0. That was the best chance, and because that didn't occur, ace players are coming out. And I think the ace player for Team Rotti is obvious. Special should be coming out here for Team Rotti. For the Trotties, who comes out for IG? Who has the best chance against Special in a best of 1 on Gressvan? If Maxed was here, I would say Maxed. 100%. 100%. Send out Mixins, Papi. He is a man of many names, of many talents. He's amazing. He's beautiful. Maxed, he can take down Special. Without Maxed, it's got to be XY, right? It's got to be the king of the mindset, the king of the mental. It has to be XY. But I'm not feeling as confident in XY as I would in Maxed. So we'll see. We'll see if he can pull this off. Special is a terrifying player. He's a terrifying opponent. You know what? Maybe TATP, maybe our Protoss player, maybe he feels confident. Maybe he's like, hey, look, I already took a game. I already took a game off of Special. I can do it again. True. But we also have to consider the map. You know, the map is chosen ahead of time. It is going to be Gressvan. Regardless of who plays who, Gressvan is going to be the staging ground. Oh boy. Here we go. We need some 10 mentality for this. True. We need the mental, Papi. We need the brain. Regardless, the teams are deliberating amongst themselves who to bring out, who to whip out here in the ace match on Gress1. Who's it going to be? What do you think? In the chat, what do you think here? The obvious choices are Special and XY. Does anyone want to get spicy? Does anyone want to get crazy here? With any like snipe play as well? Like, does anyone think that they have a better matchup against Special to bring him down? Again, the only other option I think is going to be TATP, just because he took a game. But it's such a risky move. So risky, Papi, so risky. And there we go. We have our players. It makes sense, as we all, I'm sure, anticipated. It is going to be Special versus XY as the ace match. It all comes down to one final TVT. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's happened before, but if some of these teams don't make it through, then we could be seeing some pickups. Could be seeing some pickups as well. Has happened before. That actually happened with Team StarCraft. Team StarCraft, they got eliminated in the qualifiers, and Wayne got picked up by Starlight Twinkle. So even though Team StarCraft didn't make it into WTL Code S, Wayne will be a part of Code S. He's going to be playing for Starlight Twinkle, which is pretty sick. A pretty sick pickup. I guess technically a world out there where if Team Rotti don't make it through, Euthermal, he could be signed to another team and just play anyway. That's possible. As we're getting into this and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gress1 for Team Rotti, it is Special. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent for Invictus Gaming, the ace player. It is XY. Here we go. It all comes down to this final best of one between a Special and XY. And I'm a little bit surprised. No proxy. No proxy Raxes here from either one of these players. No one's going to risk it. No one is that bold to go for a cheese here in the ace match. So far, everything's looking very standard, very safe. Both players are going for double gas openers. So they're not being economic, they're being safe more than anything. Again, just in case there was a proxy Rax from the opposing player, they would have the advantage. They would have the tools they need to defend. As Special is going for the SCV scout across the map. Now, this does mean that already XY has an economic lead, as XY is just walling off here with his depot. And XY opted not to go for the SCV scout, so he has slightly better income compared to Special. Special is forced back at home. Both players, they're working on their factories. Special, of course, he has the peace of mind of at least knowing what he's up against, knowing the build order of choice of his opponent. XY, not so much. He's in the dark as to what Special is up to, whether or not Special went for something more economic or not. As Special, he's even scouting around with his Reaper back at home, making sure that nothing is amiss, that there's no proxy racks across the map. Even with the racks at home, you can still proxy your second one across the map as well. Just making sure he's safe and sound. And we are getting into our games. Hellions on the way. Reapers as well. CC's on location. No one playing too safe by throwing down their CC in the main. Nah, it's all on location here. And for now, we have a standard setup. And as we get into this TBT, that's where my eyes more so fall on Special, I feel, more than anything. He has shown us a wide variety of TBT in the past. I do think that TBT is his best matchup more than any other Special, he can go toe-to-toe with the best Terrans in the world with TBT with his positional play. He has been known to play mech as well in TBT. More often than not, he plays Bio, but mech is not unheard of. I don't think this is the best map for it. This map can be very defensive, yes, but it's quite large and wide open in the center. I do think that a more mobile form of mech can be quite usable here if he so chose to head in that direction. For now, we're just chilling. We got Cyclones on the way, Ravens, everything's looking normal. No one is rushing into early tanks. Again, no one is cutting corners. We have spoken about this earlier, but going for a Cyclone first in TBT is very safe because it shuts down drop play, it shuts down pushes, like early Reaper, Hellion Harass, Banshee openers, tank drops. Cyclones are a very versatile unit early on. They do fall off as the time goes on, as the game progresses. But in the early game, they're just very useful defensively. And yeah, both players are up to go for it. Now that they have their first couple of Cyclones, we have tanks on the way for at least XY. And we should be seeing them soon from Special as well. As he immediately throws down his third CC and he's moving out across the map. So very greedy here by Special, rushing into his third. Of course, with this move out, he wants to try to keep XY at home while he's being greedy back at home. And XY is going for a 2-base all-in. Oh my. XY, instead of throwing down a third CC, he throws down a second starport. So very aggressive play here from XY. And Special, very greedy play from the blue Terran. This does not bode well for Juanito. There it is, Observer pointing out that second starport. Now, the way this works, XY, he's going to be rushing into air control, into mass Viking. Once he does have air control with like a couple of waves of Vikings, he goes into a Liberator, and that Liberator will just bully the tanks back of Special. Okay, again, there's a very committed move from XY. He's pretty all in. And so far, unscattered. So far, Special has no idea. He is going for some Raven harass in the main base. He's going to be able to get some SCV kills. Oh, a lot of SCVs actually. Four workers going down. Scan into the natural, misses the second starport. Observer pointing that out as well. So again, Special is still in the dark. Still doesn't know what's going on. Back at home, he's getting into his second Rex, getting into his Vikings, landing his third base. Now, if you're wondering, if Special were to be able to read this, then a good way to counteract this build is to throw down your own second starport. You need your own second starport to counteract the Viking production of your opponent. Special with that scan, I think he may have seen the Viking count. He does have a turret on the way. Yeah, he does have a turret on the way right at that third base, which will help. Stim in production as well. We do have a move out. Special does have some spotter units. Reapers are going for a backstab. Tower finishes up just in time. XY, he's committed. He does have the army supply lead. He's going to be losing SCVs back at home, but he cannot turn around. He has to commit. Disables are thrown down. Oh, XY, he loses his Ravens. He loses every single Raven. But he is forcing his way up this ramp. Marines are going down. He's going to be landing the Vikings as well. And XY, he has too much. SCVs are falling, and the army of Special has been broken. Again, he just didn't know what was happening until now. He had no idea about the all-in. And XY is on a timer. He's done a lot of damage, but he needs more. He needs to do more. As he's trying to break into the natural as well. Boys are being pulled. Tank is being targeted down. And Special, he's up against the wall. I think he has one tank on the high ground. It's hard to tell, but his natural is under threat. Again, there are just so many Vikings here to help just support these tanks. Liberator rocks up as well. And XY is barely being cleaned up. No, he is not. One tank, one Viking, and one Lib. Special, he's down to 24 SCVs. He's down in Vikings. He has that one tank on the high ground that's holding on, but the Liberator does reposition forcing Special back. The tank goes down. Oh, and XY, he's now done with the natural. He's working his way towards the production. Working his way into the main base. The Vikings barely survive. And he's done it. He has done it. He has broken Special. Once the reinforcements arrive, he's going to be able to push up the ramp. And what can Special do? It's a numbers game at this point. He can take down the lib, but we have more Vikings. Oh no! XY overextending. He does lose 2 Vikings. A rough trade, but Special needs more. He needs more than that. Especially he's losing control of his main base. He's got another tank on the way. If Special can get on top of the starports, like there's no way for... Sorry, if XY can get on top of the starport, there's just no way for Special to ever regain control of the air. 2 Vikings do squeeze out. Again, XY overextending. Special has been trading better. He gets 2 Vikings for 1. But down goes that reactor. Special stuck mining on 1 base. We have more Vikings working up. Again, XY rallying into the fire of that tank. Oh, but now he's within range of the starport. Oh, God. XY trading 1 for 1. But even with inefficient trades, like XY, he can afford to do so. He can afford to trade inefficiently. And there we go. The boys are being pulled. SCVs, oh my God, are being rushed into a meat grinder. Tanks are going down. And Special, he's holding like he's quote-unquote cleaning this up. But this is a rough trade. Again, you can see Special just microing his heart out with as little with just the little that he has. Trying to out-trade his opponent. He is! But it's just becoming too much. As XY, he's up to 54 SCVs. He just needs to calm down and focus on his production. We do see Special, he's sneaking out that natural base. He has floated it over towards that linear 3rd base location. He's muling as hard as he can. XY, he can work on his upgrades as well. Throw down additional Raxes. He's just waiting for another wave of reinforcements. Yeah, again, XY, he's just a little bit overeager. Oh my God. Losing another Viking, losing another Liberator. Special fighting his heart out here. He gets another tank. And with the juggling, he gets another tank as well. Oh my God. He is staying in this. What's really keeping him in this game is, yeah, this base. Like, XY, he hasn't scattered. He hasn't seen it. Because he isn't punishing that base, Special, he could get back into this. Like, the comeback could be real. XY, he needs to check that location. Another Viking goes down. This tank overextended. Ugh. Rough trades for XY. He's actually throwing away his lead right now. He's losing far too much. The Marines are going ham. Oof. He's throwing away tanks, throwing away very expensive units. And finally, he's calming down and he's like throwing down additional Raxes. But Special actually, he's still behind, obviously, but I mean, he has a 3rd base up and running. Like, he's been trading so well. XY just needs to calm down. He needs to calm himself down here, just because he has been too wasteful. Drop is going into the main. Oh, God. Okay, it is going to be deterred by the Vikings. But once again, overextends, loses another Viking. Like, XY had this game. He still has this game. But the Marines, they get into the main base. Boys are being pulled. Oh, these Marines are actually pretty softened up. They're dying. They're going down to the SCVs. Where they get 5 SCVs in total. Again, a good trade for Special, and he is slowly evening up the worker count. We have another job going into the main. And especially with that third CC with all those mules, like, yeah, Special, he's in this. Going for some multi-prong aggression. Dropping into the main once again, and is there anything in position? Very little. Yeah, more SCVs are going to be going down. We're going to have to land the Vikings as well. 8 more SCVs. And just like that, Special, he was down he was down 30 SCVs earlier. Now he's down only 10. He's working his way back into this. Now, what's important though is that XY, he is slowly just getting rid of these advantages that Special has. Like Special, he has Stim. Soon, I mean, I believe now XY does have Stim of his own. 1-1 on the way as well. Special, he just threw away a drop. As another medevac comes into the main base. And getting even more SCVs. Oh, a big loss here for XY. 9 more workers go down. And Special, he picks up his main and he lands it as his 4th. I did have to put a lot of this on XY though. Like we saw earlier that he was just overextending far too much, far too often. After he had already gotten control of the natural. I don't blame him too much for not checking the linear third base. That's it happens. But yeah, the trades, maybe just a little bit too cavalier, a little bit too adventurous. Now things are settling down. 1-1 has kicked in for both players. 2-2 on the way for XY. He is patrolling his Vikings now in the dead space to stop any drops. But Special, he's focusing on his push here towards that third base. Another Viking falls. At least XY is able to see this ahead of time. He's able to reposition his army and be ready for this push from Special. At the same time, XY going for his own double drops. I think this is very necessary. XY has been the punching bag for the last couple of minutes. He needs to fight back. He needs to put pressure on the Blue Terran. Here we go. He gets into the main base. He's going to be able to trade with some of the production, or he will get caught out in the center of the map. A lot of Marines go down. But at the same time, he gets a tech lab, gets a tank as well. Good trades overall. Even gets a kill on that Rax. At the same time, we have Marines waddling on into that third base. Finally, Special also taking some losses. XY forcing Special back. But at this point, this is still anyone's game. Armies are moving out. And we may end up in a base trade. If neither player turns around, yeah, they're missing each other entirely. All right, XY, he knows. He scans ahead of time. He sees the army of Special. He's going across the map. But Liberator is going to go down. Tanks are in position. XY trying to force the issue. Trying to force his way into that third base. Is going to lose the tank in the process. And Special turns around. Special doesn't commit to the attack. He's looking to collapse on these tanks. Is trickling in a little bit. But he will clean this up. Oof. XY losing, what was that, 4, 5 tanks? He gets a lot of workers, but that was not worth it. The tank count is reset, and now Special has a massive army advantage. And XY did not get the base. Meanwhile, we see Special going for his own Doom Drop across the map, and there's a big like area here that just isn't spotted by XY. He doesn't see. Yeah, and this drop is going to get a bit out of hand. There are tanks in position. Oh my god. Big tank shots go off. Likewise, Special still losing workers across the map. XY, he's able to defend without losing too much. Once again, wedging himself in between these bases. Once again, he wants to take down the base on the left-hand side. Oh, but this is not going to be the fight to take. He does take down a lot of the Marines. Every Marine goes down, and a handful of units make their way towards that linear base. Special will be losing that CC. The Vikings, they land on the tanks. And Special loses everything. Cheeky moves out of Special. He also cleans up the tanks of his opponent, but he will lose that base. Or will he? Up the repairs. He repairs just in time. And Special holds on to his third. Oof. Does barely hold on to it. Both players are hurting. Both players lost all their tanks. They are rebuilding, though. Special once again going for that drop into the main base. Like, this one area, like at the bottom of the map, isn't covered by the sensor tower, and Special has been abusing it so much this game. Constantly going for this drop across the map, constantly just unscattered by that sensor tower. XY does have some Marines in position. Oof. At the same time, though, he goes for his own counterattack. Alas, Special has plenty of reinforcements back at home. And XY overextending. His production is under threat. Overextending once again with those Marines. Without Liberators, it's so difficult to really collapse on this position. At the same time, Special is sending his main army through the center of the map. XY is ready for it, though. He is ready. Ravens are on the way. XY pulls the boys as well. He will be able to break this position. He cleans up all the tanks. Cleans Special's main army up. Now we can focus on the drop in the main. Oof. And Special is running out of steam. He's being cornered here in the main base of XY, and XY can focus on his push across the map. He does have a Raven, which means he has a disable available, which will help. This is still very close. Even though XY is up in supply, like, we have seen that Special, he's able to like take better fights and take better engagements. As Special has not rebuilt that sensor tower. Do you have a scan ahead of time? And yeah, XY is much better prepared for this. Can he finally get that base? Can he finally get the third? It looks like he will. It's been a long time coming. Third orbital finally goes down. Oof. Special's going for a bit of a run by on the right-hand side, getting a lot of SCVs. Special still has that drop in the center, in the main base. Meanwhile, in the center of the map, ooh, XY gets caught out. He does get caught out. Special doesn't care about the anti-armor missile. He's going to chase down these tanks. Two of them will be saved, but the others will be hunted down. Oof. Meanwhile, Special, he's got a decent worker count, but he's stuck on 3 bases. XY, he's been freely expanding, and this is going to be like what wins XY this game, is the fact that he has a 5th and a 6th base. He has an economy. Special doesn't. Special trying to surround, but he runs into tanks. XY was pre-sieged. Oh. As Special, he catches some Vikings. Almost catches some Medivacs as well. A very efficient trade for Special. That's going to be a given at this point. Yeah, XY fumbling the ball a little bit. Getting caught in the middle. Getting caught out quite a lot. More tanks are going down, essentially for free. And as Special pushes through the center, this is his last mining base, by the way. If he loses this, he has nothing left when it comes to his economy. This is his lifeline. This is the only thing keeping him in this game. Special, he's running out of money. Running out of resources. He almost came back in this game. I mean, XY did just lose 20 SCVs, which is crazy. 20 workers just went down. I think they went down at the center base. XY, he wasn't able to pull back in time. So XY is also hurting, at least in the economy. He's also spread thin in between all of his bases. Special focusing his attention here towards the northern portion of the map, lifting up his natural, landing it in the center. He's still mining. He is still mining. Oh, as Liberators have arrived. Oh, the freedom! This is what XY has been missing. The freedom has arrived. Liberation zones forcing Special back. Again, he gave up on Vikings a long time ago. As XY, he stims on forward, takes down the natural, takes down the SCVs with a mass amount of Marines. And this is going to be the kill move. This is going to be GG as XY takes the ace match. He will win it all for Invictus Gaming. And Team Rotti will be eliminated from WTL Code A. A shout out to Team Rotti and a shout out to Little Fairy, because it was very impressive that they made it this far. Very impressive that they made it into Code A to begin with. But alas, they aren't able to make it further from here. GG, well played. Invictus Gaming and Mystery Gaming will advance on into the next round. Oh, GG. I was really worried there. Again, like, XY had a massive lead in that game. He had won the game, essentially. He was up, what, 30 workers? He was up in supply. And we saw Special just really ramp up the just the control, just out-controlling XY towards the end there. XY may be overconfident because he knew that he was so far ahead. He was bleeding out tanks and Vikings and Marines and SCVs and more tanks. Special fighting his heart out, tooth and nail. Just would not go down without a fight, but went down nonetheless. As eventually he did run out of steam, did run out of money, and XY came out on top. GG, well played to the King of Mental. Whew. As that wraps up our night of StarCraft. And tomorrow, we have even more. Tomorrow, we have Twisted Minds versus Maturino Esports and the Kwangdong Freaks versus Berserker Esports. These are the upper bracket matches. The winners are facing off. And no one's going to get eliminated. No one is being eliminated tomorrow. We'll have those winners matches just working through the upper bracket. And, mate, these are going to be some high-quality games. Oh, my God. Twisted Minds Classic, Estrella, Future, Nightmare, TY, Armani, Sue, you name it. Dimaga. They're all going to come out here tomorrow night. So be sure to be there. Be sure to be there for the rest of WTL Code A. Oh my god. That was stressful, Papi. That was a stressful game. Oh my god. Catching him. Killing those SCVs was a war crime. XY winning this Zap Radigan style. Exactly. Eventually, really Special. He was just getting tired of killing so many units. Just eventually you tire out the opponent. You know, I mean, they run out of bullets eventually. Ay, ay, ay. That was painful. That was painful. Oh. Regardless, GG, well played. Hope everyone had a great time. Hope everyone enjoyed themselves. We are done for the night. We are done for the day. We're going to be back here tomorrow with some more WTL action, of course, of course. And yeah, stick around. We're going to be rating another StarCraft streamer. I'm not entirely sure who we'll be rating, but you know, maybe Mr. Sadsack, Colossal Gulp as well. We'll give some love. Give some love to the community. Outside of that, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, exclamation mark socials in the chat. You can also support us on Patreon as well. All the links. Oh, socials. There we go. All the links in the chat if you are interested. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more WTL action. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone. Adios. Bye.